Welcome back to the channel. This weekend, we're swapping the front axle. Stick around and see what problems I run into. Welcome back. So last night I went ahead and pulled the Dana 44 out of my Jeep here, and I rolled the Dana 60 underneath, put it on stands with some rollers, got it roughly in position, and I'm sorting out what issues I'm running into, and there are several. First and foremost, my upper link appears to be too short. And with the heim joints, I'm not going to have enough adjustment. I'm also short on my lower links by about an inch from where I'd like the axle to be. So it looks like I'm going to have to change over to long shank Johnny joints in order to get the adjustment that I need without having to redo all my links. Next issue is going to be, once that's solved, my track bar needs lengthened, and my upper shock mounts are obviously out of whack, given they were down here and now they're up here. So I need to relocate all this up here, and that looks like I'm going to have to remove all this inner structure that I threw in a couple of years ago. So looks like this weekend is going to be a lot of cutting, removing stuff, and reworking the front end. But hopefully this will be the last time that I have to do this. So stick around. We're going to get busy. I'll try to film as much as I can as I go along. Forgive me if I skip places, if I get to turn something on. It's going to be kind of chaotic. So I'm going to get as much done. The weather's supposed to be nice this weekend, other than hot. So we'll do what we can, get as much done as we can. I'm hoping to have it on its wheels anyway here this weekend. It may not be exactly where I want it, but I need to have it on its own wheels. Just so it's not sitting on jack stands so that the city doesn't complain. Not that I think they would. My neighbors are pretty good, but you never know if somebody comes by and complains about it. And that's just a hassle I don't need. Anyways, I should be able to get it on its front wheels, which that also means I need to break down the front wheels, get them off the rims they're on, and get them on the bead locks. So it's going to be quite busy this weekend. Stick around. We'll show you as much as we can. So for starters, I need to get my coil mounts in line with my upper coil mount. And I knew this was going to be a problem because the 44 has the coil mounted much further on the axle body itself, and I moved them to the back here. The idea was I wanted to push the axle forward. So as you can see, I got the lower link in. You can see how much short I am on the upper link. If I have to for the short term, I will cut something on the plasma table so that bolts to that tower and then brings that mount backwards to capture the upper link. If I can do that just to keep the axle secure, I can do that, and then wait until my joints come in. So it's probably set up a bit short for the short term. I still got to put the axle shafts in and get the unit bearings in, hub bearings in. I need to figure out the mount for the hydraulic steering. I'm just using a bar clamp on the crossbar, and I just need to figure out the mounts for the axle. I didn't do that prior because I just wasn't sure where stuff was going to land, and I didn't want to throw something on there and only have to cut it off again. Now up here is where I'm talking about having to cut this sheet metal that I threw in here and that hoop out. So I may have to do that on both sides. That should be fine there as far as the coil bucket. I really hate to have to cut and move that back, but because I did actually move that forward when I did to 44. So I hate having to redo everything, but it is what it is. And boom, sorry, my knees are a little stiff. So we may end up removing that. Oops. Which means I may end up moving the control box back to the top of the winch. And this washer bottle would have to be thrown on over here or something. That would be fine. And the same issue I'm running to over here. But you can see I'm pretty close as far as the string. If I can get it moved forward an inch, I'd be happy. Drive shaft is going to be questionable. If I want to have enough throw on it. So that may be another issue I may have to deal with. I've got about a month until Jeep Jam. Try not to make more work for myself, but it is what it is. So stick around. Chew on this one bite at a time. We'll get her fixed up. Good morning, Sunday. Continuing on with the front axle swap here, and I got a rear axle swap going on behind me, and my son's Cherokee, which is the original axle out of this. Today's plan is to finish the steering, get these wheels and tires broke down so I can get the bead locks put on, so I can get this thing at least a roller today. My drive shaft is going to be too short, so I think for the short term, my son has another front shaft. I'm just going to cut and splice, lengthen it as I need to. Probably not the best way of doing things, but this is not much of a road rig. It certainly doesn't see highway speeds. And it'll get me by until winter, for which point I am planning on changing out the transfer case. I'm not sure exactly which direction I'm going, but I think a 205 will be involved. I can't, the 231's been a champ in here, but I want to be able to do front dig, rear dig, and that means I need a split case of some nature, with either a Dana 300 or a 205 or an Atlas. We'll see what happens. As always, I'm on my own. I have no sponsors, no advertisers, nothing of that nature. I'm not paid by YouTube because I'm not that big yet. Working on that. So it means everything I do here is out of pocket. So it usually means whatever means necessary that I can get something done. Doesn't always mean I spend that much money. Anyways, back to today's project. Like I said, we've got the steering done on here. I got the link from the pitman arm to the control arm or the high steer needs done. I've got the crossbar, it is tacked together. It's probably what I do with the steering. Maybe get them welded today. There's the tires, and then I need to run the rear brakes on his axle, and we need to cut the shock tabs off his old axle and move them onto this axle. So we got a lot of work today, and the weather's going to be iffy. We'll be chasing thunderclouds all day long, so we'll get to what we can get done. Try to drag you along with us. It's always a good time when the farm jack comes out. I'm trying to get the bead broken on these tires here. See if I can do this without killing me, the tire, the rim, or the back window. So far so good. See if we can get a couple of wax bead loose. We'll join this conversation when I get this thing loose. Oh, welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, the weather has not been cooperating. We've already had 2 rain showers. And if I look off to the west here, it looks like I'm about ready to have a third. But in the meantime, in between raindrops, I have managed to get both wheels on the bead locks. And we've got her tossed on for the time being. As you can see, the axle has been pushed forward. And I do have some things to still sort out. The coils are obviously aren't in where they need to be. They haven't settled in. For some reason, I seem to have a bit of an interference between the wheel and the high steer arm. But I don't have rotors on yet, so hopefully once I put the rotor on, that one's fine. This side actually clears by a good bit, and I don't know how, given they were set up the same way, and there's literally the same bracket. So, not sure what's going on there. Obviously, this coil's got all tweaked out too. Got to take care of that. Lots of mud. And back here, boy has got the axle in. He still needs to put his shocks hooked up, and he needs to do a better job on his brake lines. We just got temporarily hooked up just to see how things are. He'll straighten that out later. Right next weekend, because right now I really figured it's all because of the weather. So I just threw it together real quick. She's definitely wide versus what she was. I mean, that gives you a good idea how much wider a Crown Vic axle is versus a stock Dana 30. So the 44 has 2-inch spacers on the front, and it's like an inch less overall versus the rear, but that's what he'll look like. She scoots. Going from 355s on 35s to 488s on 355 or on 35. So we've been busy working on stuff here. Got stuff clean up here. Got a snack. And I'm not sure what else I can really get done today. I really would like to get the steering arm done today. I have to see, or not steering arm, but the link done. Have to wait and see how this weather cooperates, because I'm not dragging stuff out, just have to push it back in to keep it from getting soaked. Anyways, out with the garage. This is where we're going to finish this weekend up at. We'll continue on this week as I get the parts in. I have ordered everything to make new links and to got shock hoops, links, and everything I need to get this front end finished up. At least I believe I do. Like I said, drive shaft still will have to be worked out as well, and I got an idea to solve that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like it. See you later.